Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and welcome to another Trollpasta video. If you guys remember the Trollpasta videos, it was a kind of a star hitter series, if you will, or basically we read a legitimate Trollpasta. Now again, I've done shit pastas, but these ones are quite special. They are written so bad that it almost takes an art to write one of these. If you remember back, I think it was about a month ago, I uploaded something called I Slightly Dislike You, a Trollpasta about Nicolas Cage and his second banana. Well, here are me and my friends, specifically me, Maru, Ace, Corn, and Herbs right now, and basically we are reading something called BOB.EXE. It is about a Lego Maniac and their fetish for all things Lego. How south or north can it go? We don't know yet. Well, we do. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty lengthy video. If you look at the title, it's about like 45, 50 minutes. I don't know how long the render is going to be, but it's about that long. So you kind of got to be committed to it. I'm not going to separate it into parts because that's kind of pointless. You know, why would you wait for a part 2? You know, where am I going to cut off at? Well, yeah, this is a Bob.EXE. It's not as long as Happy Happy. We're kind of shooting the shit while we were reading this. It does lend to a lot of lulls, so, you know, get a drink, you know, something nice to eat, and sit back and enjoy this feature-length presentation of Bob.EXE.
Bob.EXE. I'm a Lego maniac. I can't help it. I've been building with these Danish plastic blocks for as long as I can remember. I collect all sorts of Lego sets, everything from classic Legoland space to the Lego movie. Wow, Jesus. I've got complete sets of 16 for every series of minifigures, plus 2 Mr. Gold minifigurines that I ordered off of eBay for $10,000 each. My basement is occupied with tables and shelves adorned with models to the point where it's impossible to walk around without bumping into something. I subscribe to BOB.EXE. Alright, you know, somebody even have to Google some of this shit as I read it so we can actually confirm it exists.
I don't, like, who's Mr. Gold, first off?
What do you mean, who's Mr. what?
Mr. Gold minifigurines. He said he had like 2 of those,
so that's my dad.
Is he now? Well, I don't know what BOB.EXE is. Is that like a Lego porn magazine or something? So back in '87,
they've got just like flat chests.
It's like, look at these mountain pieces. And after that went out of print, followed up with Lego Mania, Lego Magazine, Brickmaster Magazine, and now Lego Club Magazine, plus issues of Lego Adventures and World Club Magazine that I imported from Europe. Oh shit. I've still got every Lego t-shirt from the 90s, even though none of them fit me now, including one awesome shirt that I got with some UFO Land Rover for only $5.99. My wallet is so thin since crack is cheaper.
Oh my god!
What? Since crack is cheaper. Smoke weed every day. But I'm always the first to check to see if the local Lego store has received the latest shipments of Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars sets. Some may say that at the ripe age of 38, my life is a wreck.
Oh my god.
But that's the life of a Lego maniac. Oh, fuck me, we're on a good story right now. But let's talk about Lego video games. When Lego Island first came out in 1997, my mind was blown. It was so awesome, dude. And it was the 90s, which means you could say totally awesome, dude, in public without people staring at you. Ever since then, I collected every single Lego game, plus any re-releases. This even includes titles like Galador and Bionicle the game, which are total garbage. Oh, he said they're total garbage too, so shots are being fired.
Bionicle counts as a Lego?
I don't know. Remember back in the day?
Yeah,
it does? Oh.
It had ball joints instead of just clips.
Whoa, okay.
It was made by the same company, though.
Alright, just because they can have a little high point in their time doesn't mean you can just discount it. Alright, goddamn it.
Okay.
Alright,
sorry.
but those games were total garbage, but I still play them anyways because they're Lego. And even though TT Games' latest title, the Lego Movie video game, is just another version of Lego Star Wars, without any of the novelty or fun of the first 500 versions of Lego Star Wars that they've released in the past 2 years, I still love it because I'm that much of a Lego maniac. But sadly, there's one Lego game that I thought that I would never be able to enjoy again. Lego Universe. What a fucking tragedy indeed.
Oh my God.
That is, until one fateful day this past winter, I was playing the Lego Movie video game on the PC, checking out a cool cheat code that unlocks Johnny Thunder. What?
Oh shit.
Is that a Lego porn name?
Johnny
What?
Thunder.
Hey baby, this is Johnny Thunder.
I
I'm
feel
here
like
to fix your
I literally feel like if I look that up, it's gonna be a porn star.
That's what I'm saying. And wondering why he simply wasn't available from the start, because clearly everyone would want to play as him, so it's a mystery why you can't play as him unless you know a cheat code. It was about 1:53 in the afternoon when I heard my grandmother screaming at me, "Zack, the mailman arrived 2 hours ago! Stop playing that game and make yourself useful, young man!"
Dude, why is that time so specific? 1:53.
That's the best part. It's always
Why does the
specific.
time matter on the mailman arriving?
Exactly.
You have an affair?
Why is this 38-year-old being coddled
They
by
just,
his
they just want to
grandmother?
make the story detailed as possible.
Oh,
Fine,
my God.
Grandma! I yelled back at
That's
her.
what they tell us in English. Detail, detail, detail.
Yeah, well, in this case, we don't need that much. Annoyed. Okay, here we go. It's the next part. Fine, Grandma! I yelled back at her, annoyed. I paused the game and went outside to collect them all. Ace, I'm bringing you into this.
As I brought it inside the house and put it on the kitchen table, I was expecting to find another unemployment check. Instead, much to my surprise, I found a
this Chris
CD
Chan?
case and a note. And even though it was written very messily as though its writer was in a hurry, I immediately recognized the handwriting on the note as belonging to my old friend and former fellow Lego Maniac, Jack. Oh, his name's Zack too. Okay. That's
Oh, dude, you know it's like that commercial that used to come on. He's a Lego maniac. Go on.
Dear Zack, or Zack, I've had enough of this. I can't handle it anymore. It's too much for me. I had to get rid of this somehow. But instead of destroying it myself or just selling it on eBay, I thought giving it to you was a much better option. Please don't make me regret this decision by doing something stupid that would end up being written about in some lame, overly cliched creepypasta. Now this is... Okay, all right. Please, Zack, you have to destroy this disc because I cannot, for some poorly explained reasons. It's the only way. Do not play it. Please, for the love of all that is holy, whatever you do not play it.
Don't
I
do it,
trust
man.
you as a friend, Zack.
Don't do it, matey.
Please don't make me feel that my trust has been misplaced by doing against what I'm telling you.
What are they, in a
Do not
relationship
play
here?
it.
You're gonna
We're
work.
that stage of a relationship. We need to trust each other with discs.
I'm sorry, that was too rich.
Do you feel like they have like some cute relationship name, Jack Zack? Like Jackie Zack?
You're a bitch. Alright, go on.
Where was I? Do not wait. Okay. Do not play it. Do not even think about playing it. Do not even think about not playing it. You cannot let yourself be tempted. Even though it is only copy of Lego Universe that still works offline. I'm gonna pass it over to Corn.
Oh, wow.
Corn! Corn!
All right,
Corn,
dude,
this is
let
your
me try
cue.
this. Let me try this. Oh wow, a fully functional copy of Lego Universe that still works offline. Everything else didn't matter as soon as I read those words. Finally, I was about to play Lego Universe again. It was a Lego Maniac's dream come true.
Was it really?
With that, I tossed aside the note and looked at the CD. It was blank and plain on appearance, though the words BOB.EXE were scrawled in permanent black marker. I immediately recalled that Bob was the name of the Lego Universe's mascot, and that only reminded me of how excited I was to play this game.
Oh god, excitement intensifies.
I rushed back to my computer and immediately exited out of the Lego movie video game. And in my haste, I even forgot to save. Not that it mattered. Anyway, I took the disc out for the Lego movie video game and threw in the CD for Bob.EXE so quickly that I nearly shattered it into pieces in my excitement. Let's go, Burbage.
Ah, shit.
Wait, hold on. Where are you pointed out? Where did you end? God damn it. I was laughing too hard.
This opened up the Lego Universe patcher.
Alright,
This
okay.
opened up the Lego Universe patcher, and it started downloading some new files before saying it was ready to play. I launched the game, and it brought me to the main menu. Everything was just as I remembered it. The music by Brian Tyler. Look that up, please.
What?
The funny little animations with the Nexus astronaut and dragon in the background. And of course, Bob himself standing cheerily next to
Look at the
login
photo.
menu.
Totally not
Dude,
Photoshop. All right, I'll continue.
Totally
I'll
not
continue.
Photoshop.
I'll continue. I typed in my Lego.com username and password and clicked the blue arrow to continue.
Dude, I want a Lego.com username.
Who doesn't? The connecting to authentication message popped up. And then, for approximately 0.51 seconds,
Oh my god.
game flashed something very different. Something that I'm somehow able to remember perfectly in the instant it happened.
Even that specific time.
You're a bitch.
This
Leg-
guy's good with time, man.
I know. The Lego,
153.
the Lego Universe logo no longer looked polished, but now rusted. The white bubbly clouds had vanished, and the blue gradient sky had turned red. The blue
Yes,
trees
I
on the
agree.
horizon turned black and looked like they had been burned, left bare to the blackened bark. The Nexus astronaut was lying on the floor, which was no longer white, but now resembled the scorched earth of a volcano. And the dragon stood over him with vicious intent. Down on the bottom of the screen, where it normally says copyright 2011, the Lego Group. 2011? What the fuck? I thought this was an old game. Yo, fuck this.
Yeah.
The
No,
year
the
was
fucking Lego movie came out last year.
what? The year was replaced with 666, and there was blood. Hyper-realistic
jeez.
blood. Blood on the logo, blood on the trees, blood on the Nexus astronaut, blood on the dance floor, blood on the floor, blood dripping from the dragon's maw, blood on the blood, blood.
Blood on the blood.
But worst of all,
Hyper-realistic blood.
worst of all though, was Bob. He looked so fucking normal staring at me with a perpetual smile. But there was something, what the fuck was that?
That was Brian.
But there was something
God.
horribly wrong about his normally confronting smile. And there was blood, and this is all capped by the way, dripping from his empty black eyes. But as I said, this is only approximately 0.51 seconds, so it didn't bother me. I just thought I...
Noticed all of these details within that fucking 0.5
I know.
second.
Dude, he just remembers it. He has a photographic memory. I just thought I imagined it. My therapist often tells me that I imagine things. He just doesn't understand. All I do is just imagine. After that, it stayed on the connecting to authentication screen for about 10.3 seconds
It was oddly specific.
before moving on to the character selection screen. To my surprise, none of the 4 characters displayed were my characters prior to LEGO Universe's closure. Wait, this was an MMO? Yeah. Dude, that's dirty. Instead, they were NPCs from the game. But not just any NPCs. They were Hailstorm, Vanda Darkflame, oh, edgy mate, Duke Exeter, and Dr. Overbuild.
Sounds like something I'd make an MMO character.
And Rainbow Dash.
You're a
And
bitch.
Rainbow Dash.
In my
Yeah.
excitement, I did not notice right away a few things that seemed wrong. In the background, there is normally a bunch of blue-tinted stick figures playing around. Here, they were red-tinted instead and appeared to be missing their heads. There was probably some blood, too. The background music sounded like it was 50% slower and in reverse for some reason. I love how he knows the fucking time shift and the
I know.
goddamn reverse, too. And I could swear that some parts of the reverse song almost sounded like the ticking of a clock. But I was sure that this wasn't symbolic or anything.
Oh my god.
I wasn't worried. So what if there were a few graphical glitches and auditory glitches? I was going to play LEGO Universe again, and I was going to play as Hailstorm and the other faction leaders. But there was a story to this? What the fuck? Without hesitation, I selected Hailstorm and pressed the blue arrow to continue. Or rather, I would have pressed the blue arrow. But for some reason, it was red. And when I clicked it, I could have sworn that I heard high-pitched laughter in the background. Sounding,
It was secretly Mudahar. He was in the room.
I know, sounding almost like an echoing version of Bob's laughter. We can build it, yes we can. All right. Corn, you go.
The screen went black for a loose estimate of 9.896 seconds. Then the loading screen popped up and said that my destination was the Venture Explorer. Now, this was the first time I thought something was the first time, really.
Oh, dude.
Don't
Was-
say.
Hailstorm's save file was only on the tutorial level of the game. I also noticed that Venture Explorer's artwork depicted the spaceship looking even more wrecked than I remembered it. I just assumed that this is one of those new files that it downloaded. Probably some cool hyper-realistic graphics update that was never released thanks to Lego Universe's cancellation. When Hailstorm spawned on the Venture Explorer, the first thing I noticed was that the Venture Explorer's interior was also considerably more wrecked than I remembered it, with entire pieces of the walkway chewed up into pieces.
Get wrecked, mate.
The nearby pods of sleeping minifigures in suspended animation were cracked open, but the minifigures inside remained lifeless. At first, Jet Moonshot was nowhere to be seen, but then I found his body smashed into pieces in a pool of blood. There were no more suspicious pools of blood coating the entire world. I wasn't sure what the music was, but like before, it sounded like it was played in reverse at 50% speed. I made my way back to the Venture Explorer bridge, where Bob was waiting for me. Like before, his face looked in a perpetual grin, with blood dripping from his eyes. He popped one arm out of its socket to wave at me, which I remembered being a cute little animation in the vein of Lego Island. But now, when Bob popped his arm out, a fountain of blood erupted from his open socket in a manner reminiscent of the Black Knight from Monty Python. The game indicated that Bob had a mission for me. I interacted with him to accept the mission. His dialogue was simply, "Hey kid, do you want to use your imagination?" I didn't remember this dialogue from the game, but I shrugged it off. Why should I be afraid? It was only a video game. The mission was to collect 6 imagination orbs from around the nearby
imagination
pistons.
orbs. What the fuck?
Just like I remembered it. Despite the horribly wrecked status of the ship, the pistons were still functional, and I was able to grab 5 of the orbs with ease.
You were able to grab them with ease?
Let's go, Ace.
However, upon grabbing the 6th orb, Bob's face started flashing on the screen. The game started lagging horribly as the frame rate took a nosedive. I really would expect a Lego game to have lag anyway. I don't feel like a frame rate would be a 60, so this is no surprise to me. This caused me to miss a jump.
Dude, they were playing on that, Pentium 2. You don't know?
He had an Alienware, bro.
Oh yeah, dude, Alienware Pentium 1.
This caused me to miss a jump, and Hailstorm promptly fell into the wiring of the ship where he was horrifically electrocuted. I was seething. That's cheap! I yelled at the computer. I died because of lag!
Oh my god! Wow, 1v1 me and Rust, mate.
Dude, get Google Fiber!
When I died at lag.
Can I be in phase?
Phase Lego!
The smashed pop-up appeared, but it was different. Instead of Bob, it depicted Hailstorm with the gratuitous amounts of blood pouring out of its mutilated body. The word smashed was replaced with dead. But worst of all, the rebuild option was not available. This especially irritated me because I thought the game was glitched and I would have to restart in order to close the pop-up, which I already had to do enough times in beta testing and wasn't particularly easy or eager to relieve those memories.
Dude, Lego Nade shot.
1v1 me right now, Lego Island. Red Legos only, mate. Let me go grab a Mountain Dew.
Yo, 1v1 me Lego Town.
I make Doritos with Legos.
I'll build a castle faster than you.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, where
Yo, 1v1 me Forge World.
I'm just looking at how these times keep getting more and more specific.
I know.
I know, right?
It's got like 5 digits on the next
Unfortunately, I
one.
had no screenshots.
Fortunately, after about 7.4259 seconds, the screen cut to blank with Bob's laugh echoing in the background. Then approximately 10.2651 seconds later, the game returned to the character select screen. These seconds really, though, I feel like he just has a stopwatch.
He does, dude.
He's playing the game with
Hailstorm's minifigure was
the other.
saturated in color. He no longer had his usual cocky expression, but now looked depressed. There was blood dripping from his eyes, just like Bob. but most importantly, he could not be selected as a player character. I tried for several minutes but failed, so I decided to try another character, Vanda Darkflame. Again, as I clicked the red arrow to continue, Bob's laugh was heard as the screen cut to black for a rough estimate of, oh my Christ, 9.953726 seconds.
What the fuck? Wait, say that again. How much?
A rough estimate of 9.9532726 seconds.
Guys, don't get mad if you got that wrong, dude.
He's
it's
probably
rough
off
estimate.
by like He's probably off by like
Probably, dude.
0.000 seconds.
He's probably off a little bit. You know, he's no optic Nate Star.
When the loading screen popped up, this time my destination was Advent Gardens, over to Burbs.
Ah, shit. Vanda Darkflame spawned near the wrecked Panda box.
Paradox research.
Paradox.
Think you've been hitting the bottle there.
Pandora's box?
This whole fucking story is a Pandora's box.
Yeah, Paradox Research Facility. Dark and sinister. Dark
Dark and sinister
and
music.
sinister music was playing. Once again, in reverse.
Did
and
you say
played at
sinister one?
50% speed.
So wait, is he saying the dark and sinister music was playing in reverse? Or it was dark and sinister because it was in reverse?
It was playing in reverse.
No, it was playing in reverse at 50% speed. So again, he knew the pitch shift and everything.
He's like speed variation.
Yeah, exactly.
50%.
Yeah. Event Gardens was not as I remembered it. The trees were bare and dead, and the grass was burned away to reveal scorched earth beneath. There were no birds singing, and the ground was littered with skeletons wearing pink pants lying in the pools of
What?
blood. I went to find Wisp Lee, expecting that he would give me a mission to find Epsilon Starcracker. What?
I have no fucking clue.
Epsilon
What?
Starcracker.
Wisp Lee was covered in bandages, or rather more bandages than usual. He was wrapped in bandages from head to toe like a mummy. The bandages also looked like they were stained in blood. Wisp Lee did not offer a mission, but a dialogue bubble appeared over his head saying,
What the fuck?
I guess being covered with bandages would do that to you.
Can I be in
I ran
face?
to the...
Nothing, go on.
I ran to the Centennial outpost, expecting to find Epsilon Starcracker instead. Instead, I found Bob again, grinning with blood dripping out of his eyes.
There's always gotta be that fucking blood.
As was now becoming
Was it a
the
perpetual
norm.
grin?
What?
He had a mission. What was that?
I was asking if it was a perpetual grin.
Perpetual grins, bruh.
Oh shit.
He had a mission, accompanied by the dialogue calling for help from Centennial.
From
They
Centennial?
won't help you. What a paradox.
Alright, switch
Isn't
it
it?
out to, wait. Alright, Paradox? Alright, go on.
Off the who?
This made no sense.
So you just ignored it. Alright.
Just ignored it.
The mission was to build a
Mudaha.
satellite beacon to call in a Sentinel flight air. I can't even read properly. Fuck me. Airstrike. I found one of the quick builds.
Welcome to
Fairly
third grade.
Dude, fuck you. You're not smarter than a fifth grader. Fairly quickly and assembled it. The satellite beacon made an unusual sound that sounded like an 8-bit version of Bob's laugh. Who the fuck is Bob? Moments
That
later,
guy
One
from
be
the
faced.
fucking...
To Kill a Mockingbird. First one to read the book wins.
Can I be in phase up? Moments later, I heard the familiar sound of Sentinel flight zooming overhead. However, instead of aiming for the nearby Stromlings and Stromling mech, Sentinel flight bombed Vanda Darkflame instead. Shots were fired. She screamed as she was consumed in the explosion, and when the dust settled, there was nothing but a pool of blood where she once stood. Bob's face flashed on screen for nearly 0.3141596 seconds when this happened.
Dude, that's
God.
pi.
I know!
That's almost pi.
Let's pi off by 1 times 10.
Oh, come on, I grumbled. Do you really expect me to buy that?
I'm buying these numbers.
The smashed pop-up appeared. What? Just like it did before with dead text and lots of blood. However, this time it was Vanda Darkflame depicted in the pop-up instead of Hailstorm. Just as before, there was no option for a rebuild, and I had to wait roughly 6.7385937 seconds before the screen cut to black with Bob's laugh echoing in the background. About 10.2948571 seconds later, Jesus Christ, man.
You feel like he just has a stopwatch, like, on hand.
This guy's a genius, man.
I was back at the character select screen. Like hail, Vanda Darkflame's minifigure was desaturated, depressed, and crying blood. She wasn't playable anymore, either. So I moved on to the next character, BOB.EXE. I clicked on the red arrow to continue. Bob laughed, and the screen cut to black for nearly 10.04867397 seconds. The loading screen indicated that I was going back to Avant Gardens. This time, BOB.EXE spawned in the Sentinel base camp. The background music sounded like it might have been calm and relaxing if it was played normally, but instead sounded ominous and foreboding due to being slowed down and played in reverse like the other songs. Most of the Sentinel faction members were dismembered and lying in pools of blood, which caked the ground and walls of the camp. Deciding that I didn't want to remain in the Sentinel base camp, I made my way to the tunnel in the Assembly Monument. However, the jump pad required to pass the tunnel indicated that I needed... Jesus Christ, man.
Yo, bafflers.
You know what, Corn? You fucking read this.
Alright, dude. Challenge accepted. If I do this correctly, can I be in phase?
Dude, you can be an optic as well.
I'll just start off at the sentence that you quit on. However, the jump pad required to pass the tunnel indicated that I needed to Theo Balfour's permission in order to use it. Seeing as Theo Balfour was laying decapitated in a pool of blood and probably wasn't up for much conversation, you know what I'm saying, mate?
Oh, no shit,
I guess
mate.
that I was stuck in the Sentinel base camp for now. Turning around, I noticed that Bob, blood and all, was standing in Beck Strongheart's place. Once again, he had a mission for me. I was getting rather tired of this pattern, but since I had nothing better to do, I grudgingly accepted. His mission dialogue was simply, "You cannot survive forever, you know."
You can't survive forever, matey.
Yes, I can't get out of my face. The mission was to survive 6 minutes and 66 seconds.
What?
An avant-garde survival instance. This sounded like no real challenge to me.
Oh,
I'm
no,
Phase
man.
and all, who previously held the Storm Universe record for surviving 78 hours, 35 minutes, and 25 seconds with nothing more than a few boxes of pizza, a carton of milk, and an adult diaper, a can of Mountain Dew, and a bag of Doritos. I started the survival instance, and BOB.EXE spawned in the battlefield. However, upon initiation, Bob's face flashed on screen for about 0.93786935938 seconds, and suddenly Duke was instantly overwhelmed by an impossibly large horde of dark spiderlings that killed him in a blink of an eye. "Hey, no fear!" I yelled at the computer screen. "That's clearly hacking!" Let's go, Instagram.
The altered smash screen popped up again, this time starring BOB.EXE. It was really starting to lose its novelty and become more of an annoyance than anything. The screen cut to black with Bob's laugh echoing in the background, which was seriously starting to grate on my nerves.
Mummy, get the camera!
Get the camera!
Come on!
Zack! I heard my grandmother yell from the other room.
Take a break from yakking!
Game! It's time for your what? It's time for your nap!
Oh, come on, Grandma! Alright, I'll do the voice. Okay, hold on. I'll do the voices for the grandma. Corn, you do the voices for the fucking 30-year-old dude.
Alright,
Okay,
Let's go.
that's you, Corn.
alright, is it my line?
Yeah, you're.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
come
go,
on,
come on.
Grandma.
I'm 38 years old, right?
Yeah, dude, you're
Yeah.
not. You're more than 35 now. Go on.
Dude, I'm 35.
I'm 38 years old. I don't need a nap.
Sorry. Young man!
She scolded.
So long as you live under my roof, you live under my rules, and it's time for your nap.
Knowing it was
Mommy, get the camera!
knowing it wasn't worth arguing, since I always lose arguments against my grandmother anyways, I grumbled to myself. I shut down Bob.EXE, got it from my computer, walked 2 feet to the couch, and lay down upon it. I stood in the void, freezing cold and pitch black. At first, there was deafening silence, and then I heard voices crying out in terror. I turned and was startled to see Hailstorm, Venda Darkflame, and Duke Exeter standing before me. They were all drained of color, save for the bright red blood gushing from their empty black eyes. They reached out for me, wailing in pain and agony. I was powerless to help them. And then I heard an all too familiar laugh. I turned around slowly to see Bob. He grinned sadistically, his empty eyes boring into my soul as hyper-realistic blood streamed down his face. He spoke with a voice that sounded like the grinding of bone. Don't you see how much fun it is to use your imagination? I was too terrified to reply. I couldn't even run.
Yes, Zack. You are at my mercy now. It won't be long now before... Wait, what?
I noticed that Bob was confused about something, so I turned around and, much to my surprise...
So
So I turned around and, much to my surprise, saw Leonardo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. DiCaprio raised his hands in a defensive manner. Don't mind us, he insisted. We're not really here. I promise we're not trying to perform an inception or anything like that. We're just ordinary projections of your subconscious. Just carry on and pretend we don't exist. Cord, please.
No fucking,
Alright,
fucking way,
wait,
man.
Where are we at? My browser crashed. I gotta find this.
No fucking way, man.
Um,
No fucking way.
Alright, where are we at?
Excuse me,
Leonardo DiCaprio, man.
Alright, I see it.
Excuse me, growled Bob. I'm trying to be super creepy right now. You guys are ruining the spooky atmosphere.
But it was too late. I realized that Bob had no power over me. It was all just a dream. And when you know you're dreaming, you can take control of the dream in any direction you want.
The best part.
With a sly chuckle, I snapped my fingers and Bob turned into a potato. Perfect. I then took off in flight like Superman and went on all sorts of zany, psychedelic dream adventures full of pink elephants and shape-shifting dragons, an elderly, interdimensional ruler who believed
Literal blind justice.
I'm literal blind justice, a cult of people who were accidentally worshipping
Unikitty, what the fuck?
Unikitty. A bunch of ghosts
Let me get the
lurking
screen
in whose house they were haunting. Some mischievous gremlins who were backing up the sewage pipes, and the Lego store that had every single Lego set, including those that don't exist, but always had that smelled musty for some reason. Everything was awesome.
Oh shit. Oh
Who
shit.
wants to go?
Oh
I don't
shit.
care.
I'm in the corner of some dreamscape. A lonely potato stream. Curse you, Leonardo DiCaprio!
Oh my
I
god.
woke up from my nap several hours later. Wow, I thought aloud. That was pointless. Then like nothing ever happened. I got off the couch, returned to the computer, and continued playing Bob.exe. Just like he appeared in my dream, Duke Exeter was depressed, desaturated, and crying blood. He was no longer playable either. I could tell that there was a predictable pattern forming. But since I was bored and had nothing better to do, I decided to select the final playable character, Oh my fucking Overbill.
It was fucking gagged.
As I expected, clicking the red arrow caused Bob to laugh and the screen to cut to black for about 9.79035834961 seconds.
Oh my god.
Once again, the destination was Avant Gardens. Dr. Overbill spawned at the base of Assembly Monument. Who the fucking names these places?
It's sad because I played Lego Island.
Did you know?
That used to be my favorite game, man.
I couldn't get that game to work.
It was like, fuck you in the background.
It was so glitchy, dude.
The monument appeared to be on the verge of collapse and did not look very well maintained compared to its normal appearance. It was also covered with dead birds and blood. Rusty Steel. Rusty Steel. Don't let me use that porn star name. Was horribly named. Dude, face Rusty Steel. Lying in a pool of blood. But by this point, I was so used to seeing this sort of imagery that I was completely desensitized. Oh yeah, dude, killed up fucking Lego. The background music was played at 50% speed and in reverse, which by now was nothing new. Essentially, anything that might have been mildly unnerving in the first 5 minutes was now just boring and rehashed formula. As I expected, it was Bob who stood where Rusty normally would stand, offering a mission. This time, although, Bob was still grinning and still had blood dripping from his eyes. His demeanor, what the fuck?
Demeanor. Good one.
Seemed a little angrier than before. Rawr, angry. I guess he wanted revenge for being turned into a potato in my chest. That's not a bad thing. When I interacted with him, his mission text simply said, "You cannot beat me."
Ooh, shots fired!
Oh my god, Face, come here. The mission was to...
1v1!
Dude, 1v1 me on Lego Town.
It's happening.
Oh, that's awful.
Alright, the mission was to ascend the mountain and reach the finish line. Based on his dialogue, I half expected that he would race me. But even after accepting the mission, Bob just stood idly in place, so I left him behind at the starting line. Corn, go.
From experience, I knew that the yellow path was fastest because are supposed to follow the yellow brick road. So I took that. Unfortunately, the game started lagging, causing me to fall through the elevator quick build several times, which was really annoying, but at least it didn't lead to an instant kill like it did before for Hailstorm and Nate Shot. On my 4th try, I managed to ride the elevator without falling through and used the jump pad to bounce to the monument finish line. At first, the line was unoccupied, and I thought I might actually complete this mission for once, but less than 0.4938673957123 seconds before I reached the finish line, Bob's face flashed on screen again, and in that instant, he teleported me to the finish line. Dr. Overbuild was too slow and lost the race. As a consequence for his failure, Overbuild was smashed, and his pieces fell onto the floor in a pool of blood. I was perplexed.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? What are you guys doing?
Dude, Dr. Overbill died. What the fuck? Be sad.
Dude, I don't care about Overbuild.
Dude, moment of silence. Moment of silence for Dr. Overbuild.
Okay, dude, moment of silence.
Fuck a Dr. Overbuild right in the pussy. Go on.
I was perplexed. Oh, really? Overbuild dies because he lost that race? That has to be the lamest and cheapest death so far.
Dude.
The altered smash pop-up with blood appeared. As expected, Dr. Overbuild was the unfortunate subject depicted. As expected, the screen cut to black. As expected. As expected, the screen... Okay, never mind. Go ahead, whoever, I don't care.
Wait, where are the
Burbs, you go.
Yeah, like a burbs.
Okay, can we just get this over with? I grumbled.
I felt like you actually wanted to get it over with there. You're like, God damn it, fuck this.
Wayback's getting pissed.
I thought he was talking about the Creepypasta. Like,
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
That's why Burbage is a potato. He's secretly Bob.
Tired of the pattern by this point. Were there no more surprises? Just rehashing the same tricks over and over. Then, after a loose estimate of 15.3149286933042 seconds, the screen changed to a most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic version of Bob standing in the void of Maelstrom. What?
Maelstrom?
Yeah,
Maelstrom.
Yeah, Maelstrom. It was so hyper-realistic you could make out every wrinkle on his yellow skin and every crease and fold on his red shirt. On the proportions of Lego minifigures, this hyperrealism fell straight into the territory of uncanny valley. And his face. His wide, empty, pitch-black, hyper-realistic eyes with hyper-realistic blood.
What if you
gushing
said that
from
on a
them.
date or something? Like you went up, hey baby, your pitch black, hyper realistic eyes look so great.
Dude, I want to do the voice of Bob in bold down there.
No, dude, we all do it in unison.
Okay.
Were staring right at me, right through the force wall of the game. He grinned like a hyper-realistic psychopathic, psychotic murderer. Psychotic murderer.
Bend it,
With
baby.
the edges... with the edges of his hyper-realistic lips stretching past his hyper-realistic skull and revealing crooked hyper-realistic teeth resting in a hyper-realistic void of black emptiness. And his hyper-realistic teeth were freshly caked with hyper-realistic blood.
From your
I could do-
hyper-realistic period.
I could do nothing but stare at this gruesome image for approximately 30.2859
Fuck you.
385719385 seconds. Fuck.
He's like, fuck me, that's gross.
Then, as Bob's laugh echoed in the background, horrible and demonic, text appeared superimposed on this image.
I
I
I am
Bob!
Bob! I am Bob! I'm Optic Bob!
Dude,
Face
I was...
Bob! Clan leader!
I was...
Alright,
I
Ace,
was-
go.
Alright, I'll go. Alright, hang on, I gotta scroll down. Hang on, I'm reading. I was too shocked to speak and simply stared at this message in horror. And now, only now did I realize what a complete and utter waste of time this was. And as soon as I found my voice, I made sure Bob knew it. Really?
Oh, you're
Or
like-
wait, Corn, do you want to do the voice still for, Zach?
Alright, dude.
Really? Really? You are Bob? Gee, I would have never guessed. Thanks, Captain Obvious. You saved the day. What's the point of this? I've just wasted all this time and sat through all that blood just so Bob could go on a quest of self-discovery.
Shut up,
Maybe
Anthony!
you should have said, I am blood instead. Now that way you've been making more sense given this game's obsession with blood. Man, this was stupid. What was I thinking? What a load of mega blocks. That's it. I've had it. I'm going to smash this CD into pieces. That way you can change the message to I am dead. And that won't be a big surprise either.
I was kicked back to the character select screen by the time I was finished ranting, though I could have sworn that Bob's expression turned rather disgruntled just before the screen change. Dr. Overbuild now joined the other Nexus Force faction leaders on being desaturated and crying blood. But I thought that this time they looked more mildly annoyed rather than depressed, as though they were too incredulous of the utter stupidity of this game.
Then it turned out that I don't need to shut the game off myself because my computer spontaneously shut off on its own. I
Spooky
couldn't.
scary.
Better upgrade to an Alienware, dude. Get rid of that Pentium 4 scrub.
Dude, face Nate Star. I couldn't turn it back on, so I started muttering curses under my breath.
Bob
Because-
deleted System 32.
Because now I'm pretty sure that this game was so bad that it broke my computer. No, dude, Battlefield's enough to do that. I turned around and pulled out my cell phone to call the local computer repair shop. Then I heard a voice right behind me, barely louder than a whisper. Just imagine. I turned around again to see where the voice came from, and what I saw sitting on my computer desk, staring right at me, was a Bob mini figurine smiling with blood under its eyes. I was only 9 years old, and I could just imagine how much money I could make by auctioning it off on eBay.
Oh, shit.
Best ever.
Dude,
That was 11 out of 10.
He's loaded now.
11 out of 10, dude.
So retarded.
15 out
Dude,
of
that
10
right there, that's like-
potatoes.
That's a 3 out of 2 right there.
What did everyone else think?
All right, okay,
Dude, I
okay.
gotta get on his Twitch chat. Hold on.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta get the Twitch.
All right, okay, so let's all give our little reviews here, okay? So you guys go first. Corn, you go first. Tell us what you thought was great about it and not.
All right,
first.
so Bob.EXE.
You can be a Simon
Good-
Cowell. I ain't
good.
gonna be mad at you.
It's a good creepypasta. A little undercooked. Uh,
Undercooked.
so some may say the blood was overdone a little bit. I don't think so, personally, but yeah, it has to come down to personal preference. I mean, if you're into like Mega Blocks, then this isn't for you. If you're into anything like Mountain Dew, Doritos, FaZe, anything Call of Duty related, this is going to be something that you're going to want to check out. You're going to want to go to eBay and buy this creepypasta. Because, I mean, as soon as you throw this in the oven, you're just going to start smelling the Legos coming out.
Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah, I'd say that's like maybe like that's like a 15 out of 12. What did you guys think? What would you change to make it better? Let us know.
I think you're right. I think it needed a lot more blood. There was not enough, and more Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah, yes. That was definitely.
Yes,
He definitely.
yes,
I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio is really the second banana of this whole creepypasta.
I don't feel like he earned his paycheck on that. He needed to go back and reshoot.
He should have won an Oscar
Yeah,
for this
agreed.
creepypasta.
We should have had Nicolas Cage here.
Well,
That's what we should have had Nicolas
It was
Cage.
good.
But
I'm gonna start off the voting by saying that's a definite yes from me.
dude, I gotta say that's definitely a 420 out of 420.
Dude, that's
420.
I give that a quick out of scope.
I give this a. I can't think of the numbers, but I was gonna do some fucking convoluted.
I would give this. I mean, it took me about 6.38436521338 through 7331 80085 7331 5463 plus 4 Nate shot time seconds to figure this out. But I gotta say, this whole creepypasta definitely does speak to me. It definitely is up there with something like fucking. It's definitely up there with Slightly Dislike You.
So I hope you enjoyed Bob.EXE. There's not much more to be said. We pretty much had our reviews over there. I know, again, this has been a long video, and I definitely thank you for watching through all of it. But yes, that was Bob.EXE. And again, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. I am out.